Hello all! Rizzy Orenji here. How's it going, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope y'all's weekend was good. I spent a lot of it playing Poker Rogue. I've been fucking addicted to that game off stream. It's kind of bad, but I've also been doing my own progress here or there on the glam metal script, and that is coming along. I just started today on the hey Daniel, how's it going, man? Good to see you in chat. I'm still sort of waiting on Nori here. I think she's situated. But yes, no. Today we are doing some more music talk. As always, I love talking with you guys, seeing what y'all are into. And I decided to bring on a friend today that I've known for quite a long time in the Vtubing scene. Please welcome the Please welcome the cantomancer, the hope-giving songstress, Noriboshi Ariel. I'm calling her up now. Hello? Hello, Nori? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Oh, it's supposed to talk. Alright, just making.
Hey, there you are. And I see you're you got a Fugi up here too. Awesome.
Yep,
uh
always.
well, welcome to the stream. Why don't you mind I mean I already kind of gave an introduction, but why don't you introduce yourself?
Alright. No, hello everyone. I'm Ariel, Notable the soul-soothing songstress shooting with stars. I'm a cancer, a music mage, Vtuber, and metal idol. And here I'm here today to talk about music listening.
Hell yeah. Welcome, Nori. Welcome to the stream. And I'm glad to see Daniel in chat. Daniel's a regular on her streams, I remember. But yeah, no. Usually on these music talk streams, I'd like to go into, like what I've been listening to recently or whatever, or when I have a guest on, just sort of ask, what's on their rotation, what they like listening to and stuff. So I guess, yeah, let's open the floor to you. What have you been listening to? What do you what do you usually spin, Nori? I know you're quite into metal idol musics.
Yeah, I love my metal. The idol aesthetic is something I adopted from, I guess, things like, well, actually mostly anime stuff like Love Live, Idolmaster, and even to some degree, especially because of the band Brasilia, Bang.
Oh yeah.
I've never played.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I'm a huge fan of Sound Horizon. Anyone who knows me knows this.
Yeah, Sound Horizon's they're an interesting. I was looking into them kind of low key, Twitter stalking your profile and trying to, I guess, do a bit of prep research beforehand. And they got a really interesting aesthetic. Like all their, are they an anime like sort of band like represented by anime characters? Because like all their art and shit, like all their album art is very obviously anime inspired.
It's probably inspired by it. But, I'm not sure if like there's no official Sound Horizon related anime.
So they're like a prog sort of band, right? Prog metal-ish, huh?
Yep. Whatever that means. I just seen you refer to it so many times.
Yeah, I mean, God, prog music. There's goddamn variations upon variations out there. But yeah, no. I guess I don't know. What other sorry. what other stuff you got going around?
Well, as you mentioned in, or rather, as you included in the thumbnail, I also really, really like Judas Priest.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
don't really, I don't look like the kind that would be into it, but
I mean, hey, it's the that's the Moe gap, right?
I know, right?
Symphonic progressive power metal, if I guess correctly. Yeah, I guess that's
What?
Daniel. He's got that in chat. Hey, Dimebag, how's it going, man? Good to see you around.
Hey.
Yeah, no, Judas Priest is a fantastic fucking man. I've always been like, I've wanted for a long time to like sort of tangent off and make a video about Priest and how pivotal they were to metal, but you know, I already kind of I recently did a podcast with a few different people like going through like the discography of Judas Priest and all that stuff. So hopefully that'll be seeing the light of day soon, but yeah, I love Priest. Like it's so incredible how like pivotal they were in the 70s towards sort of keeping metal around. Like it's interesting, right? I'm doing a bunch of research right now for the glam metal series that I eventually intend on putting out, but you know, as part of that, like metal really kind of it almost kind of it risked falling into obscurity in the late 70s, early 80s, because you had like punk and new wave coming in, and like you know, people's youthly aggression was being turned more towards that than like heavy metal. And then you had bands like Priest, like Motorhead, like coming in with these punky riffs, these driving double bass notes, and like sort of securing the aggression of heavy metal for another generation. Like it's interesting, like how Nwabum, the new wave of British heavy metal, and like all those sorts of like younger, punkier genre, like Motley Crue at one point was considered counterculture, but like it's interesting knowing how that like sort of broke through after multiple different tries over the new wave punk noise of the late 70s, early 80s. Sorry, that's been in my hyper focus recently, but no, I'm just
I can understand that. I know it's like to have hyperfocus. I have really bad ADHD.
Hell yeah. You went to oh, sorry, Daniel's got something in chat. People say that Judas Priest either count as a traditional heavy metal band or a speed metal band. I mean, Priest have gone through so many different permutations, I'd classify them as all sorts of heavy metal, but it's just incredible.
They're whatever they want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Like they've just like they've embraced all these different aesthetics and worked with them all reasonable. I mean, you can debate how well Jugulator and Demolition have gone over in the years since. I'm not that big a defender of those albums, but you know, all the heavy metal aesthetics that Priest have like adopted, I'd say they've at least displayed some competence in. Like, have you listened to like all of the recent stuff?
I listened to one of their more recent albums in like
oh my god,
2018, 2019. That was actually amazing.
Yeah, like Firepower. That album that came out around then. That's incredible. I love that album. And also their newest album, Invincible Shield's pretty good. Like the lead off track, Panic Attack, is just whoa. they still got it. Like it's incredible like how you've got a band that's going like 50 plus years on and are still delivering the same energy as like back in the 70s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Check out the new Oh, sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
What I like the most, they're also showing some of the energy of what I consider the peak, and what a lot of Priest fans probably think it was the peak. Painkiller. I see some of that in there.
Check out the new Public Image Limited song Shroom. At least I think it's Shroom. I love Public Image Limited is still putting out music. I haven't really followed them too closely, admittedly. I mean,
I've never heard of them. But that's just how big the world of metal is.
They are the. I think they're the band that. Not Sid Vicious. Johnny Rotten formed after he left the Sex Pistols, or like one of the early like post-punk groups. I don't know. I
Um,
I don't really follow like the Sex Pistols projects all that much. You know, they put out that one album in the '70s and were very seminal and influential for that. And I don't know. I I haven't really bothered to keep up with anything else from them. Johnny
yeah,
Rotten's kind of a
Guitar
bit of
Hero
a
3,
knobhead
that's
too.
okay.
Oh yeah, Guitar Hero 3,
Yeah,
like Anarchy in the UK.
and if you
That was a lot of fun. Were you a big fan of those old rhythm games yourself? Because like
I
I
only
was.
ever played Guitar Hero 3 and World Tour, and I loved them so much.
Oh yeah. No, I've been I rave a lot about like playing the old Rock Band, Guitar Hero games back in the day. I was a rhythm game nerd. That was my big gateway
Mm.
into
Oh,
listening
yeah.
to like all this music,
Yeah,
and to becoming a
yeah,
drummer
yeah,
too.
yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So wait, I did play some rock bands, so yeah, there was that too. But
Oh yeah.
I owned Guitar Hero 3 and World Tour.
Yeah. No, I remember having what was it? I bought all the Guitar Heroes up through I want to say Smash Hits, which it's funny looking back in hindsight at all the fucking Guitar Heroes they put out back in 2000 because they put out like 6 at least. It's wild how it's wild how long people stuck around for, but I mean, I guess Activision does as Activision does, right? They milk stuff dry like that.
Yep, that's why Tony Hawk took forever to come back. And
Oh
of
yeah,
course,
you've been playing a lot of Tony Hawk on your channel recently, haven't you?
yeah.
Yeah, they've. I was never big into those skateboarding games as a kid myself. Not I was never that big a sports guy in general, but like I always remember hearing such great things about those old Tony Hawk game soundtracks.
Yes, the soundtrack.
Like
Absolutely.
how much
So many
punk
things I
and
want to cover.
like ska stuff too. Did yeah. I forget. Did you do Superman at once? Like I did as a cover or
No, but I do have
karaoke?
I have a project file for it that I haven't finished because I don't have the brass for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I guess that perfectly segs into another thing too. You do a lot of music production on the side. Is that
Mhm.
right? When did you start with that? Like how long have you been doing that? Because I feel like that's just I do my own amateurish covers and stuff at the channel, as you know, but I've never been the sort to want to dive headfirst and properly learn the everything. So how did you when did you start? How did you build the experience and like how did you get good, as the kids say?
I started in April 2006 with Techno EJ5.
Ooh,
But and then I also picked up
why
other
did I say ooh
versions,
like that? I don't
other
even know what the program
versions of
is. Sorry,
EJ.
go ahead.
Yeah, it's I think it was a French or a French origin, but it wasn't enough for serious stuff, custom composition. So I ended up finding out about FL Studio back when I was using Game Maker to make games. I was in some communities, and some people were making music for their own games, like I was trying to do, and FL Studio was commonly used among them. So I picked that up, and it sat well with me. So
Right
um,
on.
I stuck with it, and before that, it was me wondering how the people that I listened to 30-second clips of, like Moby, Paul Oakenfold, Ian Van Dahl, how they
Oh
made their
yeah.
music. I
Mm.
listened to 30-second clips of them on iTunes after I got my first iPod and didn't have the money to buy all their stuff.
That's nostalgic. I remember doing that a lot back
Yeah.
in the day.
Well,
Like when I was 13, 14. Oh my god. Back when
yeah.
iTunes meant something. Now it's all Apple Music.
Yep.
Fucking
Sucks.
hell.
I miss iTunes.
Yeah, yeah. FL Studio gang, let's go. I
Ah,
never used FL Studio myself. whenever I've made music or demos of music, it's usually been with like I have this iPad and like I used to fiddle around with GarageBand like a lot, like
Mm.
pre-pandemic, I'd say. Haven't done so
Nothing wrong
much
with that.
composition since, like, but I'd love one day to just sit down again and try to oh my god, the feeling of like
Mhm.
going through and meticulously like dragging note by note trying to get them quantized correctly. That's it's not pleasant, but it is definitely satisfying once once you get everything done. Thank you for the
Yes.
compliment, Dimebag Dave. I appreciate it also. What was I gonna say? Uh yeah, no, I really do admire like the production skills you've built up. I think we bonded in the past over like you like the band Boston
Mm.
and how I've done my own Boston video. Like, were you inspired, I guess, partly by Tom Scholes in that sort of, I guess, learning to get your own ear for your own sound?
I'm probably a little bit. It's undeniable because I do like the song "Peace of Mind" resonates with me so much, like more than a lot of songs.
Oh yeah.
And like, even though I am in a rush to grow and get big, I peace of mind is what I value the most, and
Mm. No,
that's
I
like
feel the
that's
same
always
way.
keep in my mind. And I would imagine that it has an influence on me seeking my musical identity and sound.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I
And I have a cover of it that in the works that I haven't been able to do because I can't get the acoustic guitar sound I want.
Nah, yeah. I mean, it's always hard, like finding the sort of samples that you need for, I guess,
Yeah,
making it by scratch. I mean, without
exactly.
playing guitar yourself.
I don't have
Man,
a I don't have an acoustic guitar I can use. I have to learn the song, and well, I my housing situation, being in an apartment complex, hasn't exactly been the best for
yeah. No, I
that
definitely
sort of thing.
sympathize with that. Having this, having my own electronic drum kit is, it's nice and all. It's I get to practice in
Yeah.
a New York City apartment, but as far as
Mhm.
actually getting that authentic sound I want from my drum covers, it's serviceable, but it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Man,
Mhm.
yeah, though you strive for peace of mind. I get that, but you are a very hard worker, Nori. Like, you do a lot of like music production streams on your channel. How do you find the endurance for that? Just to like hunker down and get things done, like that.
I'm used to it, son. This is just stuff that I would do off stream. I'm able to get into a rhythm and stick with it. But then there's also producer's block, which
Oh
being
yeah.
on screen holds me accountable and forces me to get over it. So I
Mm,
do.
that's really cool. Yeah.
I admit it doesn't always lead to the best content, but once I break down that wall, it's satisfying for for not just me but people watching, and the end
yeah.
result just nice to hear.
No, absolutely. It's cool getting to like look inside and see the guts of like a particular I guess what you call it. Uh,
How the
how a
sausage
so-
gets made.
Yeah, exactly. Like I used to play electric guitar before in drop C for black metal music, usually play my own. Oh, that's cool. I I mean, it's really hard to get like particular tones and sounds that I want in my own like sort of guitar samples in GarageBand, right? But like
Yeah.
it's fun messing around with like a bevy of different guitar sounds. I find like clean tones,
Mhm.
distorted tones. I don't know. I'm not a guitarist by trade, so usually the way I write it is very rhythmic minded first. you know.
Yeah, being a drummer, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm. What?
But you've done like a
I
lot of.
was gonna say
Oh,
something,
sorry. Go ahead.
but then I forgot.
It's okay. Probably you'll probably come back at some point. I don't know. But you've done,
Okay,
yeah,
good.
you've done a lot of production work. Like you in the past you've done what was it like? What's the month of singing? Is that singing March?
Yeah, singing March. I still have to finish that, and last
Yeah.
year.
So, I you know I can't imagine committing to a month-long project like that, let alone composing it entirely like well, not original composition, but like your own like arrangements of covers, and you know, in
Mm,
certain respects, like you know, your own songs and stuff. Oh yeah, that's another thing too, guys. Like Nori, she's sitting on an entire album's worth of original music that you know eventually she's going to drop, but
mm,
she's chipping away at it, making sure that it sounds the way she wants it to.
mm.
But you know, how's that come as a process? You know, I remember hearing like some of those early demos back in what was it? Had to be like 2021, 2022, back when I was like first met you or so. But they've undergone quite a few. Blah. They've gone a blah 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 blah, blah, blah tongue tied. They've undergone a bit of an evolution. I don't know. Could you talk about that? I guess.
Uh, um, yes. So, the the versions I showed when I first publicly appeared on the scene, the instrumentation was rather scuffed because they were demos for me to show to agencies like first Mijisanji, then Hololive, and Prism Projects, and
Oh
then I
yeah.
wanted to. I didn't really have the tools. I was using synthesizers and samples, like literal synthesizers for the guitar with
Mm.
distortion on them, and it was scuffed. And yes, there was some near the end of quote unquote audition gale. FL Studio introduced a plugin called Flex, which is kind of like Contact's a smart sampling thing, but
Mm.
even then that wasn't ideal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still use Flex, but yeah, using all the built-in stuff, the built-in plugins to get the sounds, it was not ideal. So as
Yeah.
time went by, I met people who showed me their tools. I got other tools that I knew I wanted all along. I learned how to use them, and yeah, using my new tools, using things I learned about composition, using the style I solidified for myself.
There you
I
go.
evolved my work, and I created new works based on what I had learned.
There you go. That's that's how you do it. And you know, I'm
Mm,
really looking forward to seeing the final product. Also, thank you, Daniel, for the compliment. I appreciate it. Kya.
mm,
What was I gonna say? Uh, you know, it's interesting, like the sort of you know VTuber music scene we've got going around. I say this as if I'm the I've got my ear to the pulse of it, but like I feel like a lot
mm.
of it is influenced by obviously J-pop, J-rock, like hip
Oh
hop and
yeah.
stuff. And yeah, and you've got that you know, you've got those influences too in your work too, obviously.
Yes.
But also like I really do like how you're like trying to incorporate, you know, sound like, you know, obviously you're very inspired by Priest and a lot of other Western metal. I love like getting that more of that global cultural exchange into the mix. I think it livens up the scene a lot
Yeah.
more beyond just, you know, anime avatar aesthetics and kawaii and Japanese and all
Mhm.
that. Which, you know, nothing wrong with that, of course. You know, you're you're as kawaii as they come in terms of design,
Oh.
but but you know, like I don't know. I love when VTubers really go ham and lean into like metal and more,
Yeah.
I guess, more extreme genres like that. Like, oh my god, like when I think back on like, for example, like fucking Haka and Ike and like Aya and their fucking screamo shit, it's like that's fun. That's very fun. Have you collaborated with I mean, obviously we've worked together in some capacity before on this channel. You did the end credits music for my Fall of Kiss series, which the full version I'm still kind of sitting on, admittedly. I'm sorry about that, but I will give that its proper airtime when it's due.
I
But
know it's hard to get something out without the assets that have to be paid for before they're created, which is
yeah,
why I try to do everything myself. But sometimes I just can't.
yeah. I mean, it's not so much that as I don't know, like I'm not. My channel's not on Kiss right now. Kiss is kind of faded out of the topical. I mean, I say that when I'm gonna be talking a shit ton about Kiss in the upcoming glam metal series, but it's. Hey, Joe Mama, what's up? First time watching me. Is Joe? Is that one of your viewers?
One of my regular guests.
Welcome, Joe. Welcome.
Glad you came by.
Yeah, no, though. What other you've collaborated with a lot of people in the VTubing scene. Like what I remember there was this Bad Apple cover you did. Like what other cool people have you done stuff with?
Yes, with Tito Tamaya. Wonderful collab.
Where that dono button at? And with you, Nori, I don't think I have a don. I don't know if I've turned my monetization on. Is it on? I don't know if I have super chats enabled. But if
you should set up like stream watch beyond or whatever.
I do have a Ko-fi if you're interested in that.
Oh,
yeah, I got a Ko-fi in the description. And if you like video essayist VTubers, consider subscribing to my Patreon. But I don't know. That's kind of a stretch. Hey, Razor Gun, how's it going, man?
Hours and it works, and he makes it not boring. So just gotta give him all your support.
I appreciate it, Nori. I try whenever I go on these, gigantic fucking deep dive excursions. Like, I try to keep it reasonable. I mean, I know a lot of people wouldn't consider. I think what was it? My Boston deep dive was like 37 pages. I don't know how many people consider that reason. I did a 65-page script for that King Gizzard live discography deep dive some time ago, and that was insane. But I like to think that whenever I'm going on these larger projects and like trying to condense a whole shit ton of information down into a few hours, I'm giving I guess, the most condensed version of that narrative I can, so to speak. I like to try, being a historian, I see, history as a game of narrative, of making sure that, I don't know how to say, like, I just try to keep it interesting. I try to keep it factual. I try to keep it 100, and I'm glad that I've...
winning formula. It worked.
Yeah. Man, but no. What other collabs have you gotten up to? I admittedly, being busy with my own thing, I haven't tuned into all of them.
Well, most recently, a few months ago, was my my remix of Breeze by Pretty Patterns.
Mm,
I had my friend Twyla Woodruff on help me with our vocals there. We sang together and it was wonderful.
that's
We're really
awesome.
proud of it.
Mm.
And then before that, uh, I entered Nana Asteria's Call Unto You remix and cover contest with my
Oh
friend
yeah.
Anya. I was in a
Mm.
situation where I couldn't record vocals, but she handled everything and she did amazing.
Awesome.
Incredible.
We love when collab partners come in clutch like that.
Oh yeah.
uh
And then of course my beloved Air Miss.
oh yeah,
She
you
wanted to
two.
cover even before we were VTubers. She wanted to do a cover of Calling All That Counts by W from the Hello Project.
Oh yeah.
And
And it's a
we
very
put
nice
that
cover.
out last week.
Let me link
Yeah.
it in chat.
Thank you.
Nori. Here we go. The Queen of Vacants. Plop that down. Check that out. Yeah, Nori. I'm always blown away by Nori's arrangement sensibility. She's got a really good ear for metal, a really good ear for harmony and making sure they're all concordant with each other.
Yeah.
Yay,
Took a
Rissy.
lot of
Yay,
time to
Nori.
figure
Hey,
out.
J-Way. How's it going, man?
Good to see you here.
Glad to see all y'all regulars from Nori's chat. I know I pop in every now and then and say hi, but I never know if I'm like leaving an impact on the community or anything. So I'm happy to see all y'all here. Yeah, no, it's it's great though. What was I gonna say? Yeah, that Koi no Vacances, it was a duet between you two, right? How long have you been singing?
Well, I've always been able to carry a tune from a young age, and
Yeah.
well, I've been singing for a long time, but there were times when I was just like, like those stinking church tunes. There was a time when I was gonna be like a thing, and I was just like, no.
Yeah. No,
That was
sorry,
winter
go ahead.
schooling, so I lost interest, and then I didn't think my voice was gonna be what I wanted. So like I did a little bit here and there, but it wasn't until a while later, a few years before Vtubing, that I found my voice again, and it was more than I thought I was capable of.
Hey.
So I took it and ran with it, and now you've got what you see in here.
Hooray! I'm glad you found your voice. What was I gonna say? I wish I had the confidence to be more of a V singer. I mean, I do the occasional vocal cover here and there, but like, I've never done a karaoke stream, for instance, right?
Oh, you should.
Well, drummer to drummer, keep kicking ass. Thank you, that guy. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I feel more, comfortable being, I guess, the backbone of a band nowadays. Like, I love playing the drums. I love keeping time. I love, like, doing all these rhythms and fills and stuff. And vocals are fun, don't get me wrong. Like, actually, the other day, I was singing some backing vocals for a band I'm in the area, and what was it? We did, like, the Hives, Hate to Say I Told You So. You know the Hives?
I feel like I've heard them at least once.
Yeah, they I think they're a Swedish act. They're like a garage punky sort of band, and like it was so much fun, like getting to sing like "Hate to Say I Told You So" while I'm just like going ham on the drums. It's very fun music. I really I remember enjoying singing a lot more back in college and high school, but I don't know if I have the wherewithal to commit to it these days, you know?
Do it, it'll be rewarding. Like
Mhm.
that's how I started. That's how I was able to progress.
Hey,
You won't
Plastic
regret
One. Hey, Conway. Good to see you. uh, yeah, no, I want to do a karaoke stream. The only problem is I would have to, either unarchive it. I mean, let's be real. I don't I don't very care much for my channel's monetization one way or the other anyway, so I don't think that's much an issue. It's just like, I don't know. I'd love to keep it up and make sure people see it, but
Yeah.
there's no guarantee with how with how restricted
Use
YouTube
karaoke
copyright
instrumentals.
bots can be.
Use
Uh,
karaoke instrumentals, but don't
oh
sing any
yeah, that's
gospel.
true. That's
I
true.
got signed. I got blocked for singing Peace of Mind, and I haven't done it since. Even though I used the karaoke instrumental.
Yeah. I ended singing an OC song while drumming in my band to give my vocals a rest. Now I'm addicted to singing and playing the drums. I guess that's how it starts, right? You have your gateway gang vocals, and then next thing you know it, you're doing dual track Beatle harmonies or some shit. Pen lights up, please. If you're going to start singing, let's go. Yeah, I don't know. I have to find my range again. I used to be a lot more, I guess, comfortable in my vocal register. Back when I was actually I took lessons when I was in college, and I think maybe a bit in high school, but mostly in college was when I was like really serious as a singer. But I was always in choirs going back to like high school. Yeah. Slam poetry is not always. Oh yeah, that's true. I could do like Rage Against the Machine style political ranting. I don't know. What was I gonna say? I don't know. It'd be fun to get back into vocals and stuff. I don't know. Take a sip here. So what else have you got going on in the musical world of Noriboshi Ariel? Have you tried to learn an instrument before ever?
Yeah, I play a bit of piano, and I do own a guitar that I did start learning, but never was able to commit to. But I'd
Oh
like to
yeah.
change that in the not so far future.
Now guitar is a very I feel that's a tricky instrument to pick up. There's so much, commitment into learning scales and finger positionings, and I think I've picked up the guitar and tried learning no shit at least like 3 separate times. It's never worked. I mean, I don't know. My experience is definitely different. Not to discourage you or anything. It's just to say, like, I'm a typically busy guy, or I get distracted by other things easily, other than like just rhythm.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Not the dongo and yeah, not the dongo and baguette pen lights in the chat. Man, what else? I guess we could talk about concerts. You went to Offkai recently. Did you get to see a lot of live music there?
I saw a little bit of a very little bit of the big concert. That's about it. I spent more of the time going to demos, meeting friends, and even a couple room parties.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was for business and pleasure.
Good.
Mm.
Hopefully
And
next year.
I was
Sorry.
scared to go into such a big room because of the con crowd. I'm still
Yeah.
recovering from COVID.
Oh my god. It's it's tragic nowadays how you can't go to a convention without expecting that to happen, you know, without some mix of
Yes.
COVID flu coming back to bite you in the ass. We we really fucked that up.
Yeah. Take
uh,
the pandemic.
I have tried to learn to play guitar a few times myself. I could never really commit to practice. Networking is important. Hello from Kansas City, by the way, Resi. Hello, hello from New York City, respectively. Man, what was I gonna say? Yeah, no, I hope Offkai comes either to the East Coast or I'm able to go sometime soon. I've never seen like a
Yeah.
live VTuber music concert myself.
Well, they were
There's
on
a
big screens.
yeah. There's a actually I was saying to Air last stream we Hololive's gonna be in my literal fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like a 15-minute walk away, and I'll have no excuse. Like I feel like I have to commit to that in some respects. Like land of the chopped cheese. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna wade into that bodega versus versus deli shop discourse. That's a whole other can of worms, and I'm not even a native New Yorker. New York, land of where women get their first kids at the age of 40. I need that. I'm not sure I understand that reference, but
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
It's been fun though being in New York, doing the doing the local music circuit down here. It's fun. I mean, how to say? I mean, I certainly don't know shit about like hawking and like promoting and all that stuff. You know, I go back and I read recently having to read the stuff I have for like the early Los Angeles glam metal scene. Like these bands that back in the day, like Motley Crue, Poison Rat, they were busting their ass off to like promote themselves up and down the Sunset Strip, just like pasting flyers up on telephone poles, you know, like getting groupies to go out and do it for them. Like they honestly they didn't even have like full-time jobs. They were just kind of living off of music and mooching off of their groupies. It was a very wild and I guess like very desperate, make it or bust sort of mentality, and I've never witnessed that once playing in the New York scene, at least among the people I've played with. I don't know if that so much exists in rock these days, you know?
Yeah, like what is rock and roll in the present time? What does it look like? What does it sound like?
Yeah.
Because everything just pop now. Or
Yeah.
alternative.
I mean, I
What's
will
the
say
non-alternative?
I do think the future of rock looks towards synthesis. Like a lot of the music that I like is a very even-handed mix of like more modern styles and the past. Like looking at the Australian psychedelic rock scene, for instance, you know, King Gizzard, Tame Impala, Pond, Psychedelic Porn Crumpets even. I know that's a silly band name, but all those bands are making very stellar, like, rock music in the year 2K24. I don't know, I feel your ear is probably more tuned towards the J-rock scene, right? You know, with Sound Horizon and all those guys, right?
Actually,
Oh yeah?
I don't get to keep up very much with that stuff. Like, I
Mm,
just find that I listen to, and I haven't had time to listen to a lot of new music lately, other than for research to make stuff.
that's fair. No, I there's
I'd like to change that soon.
yeah. Now, there's more I love that we live in an age where you can basically put up music wherever and try to gain an audience however you can from there. Like back in the day, there were so many different barriers to entry, so many different gatekeepers that like again, going back to the glam metal scene, like these bands back in the day had to sort of force their own way in. Like Motley Crue, their first manager literally had to mortgage 3 houses to like set up an independent imprint and promote Motley Crue back in the day. It was crazy the lengths certain bands went to. But now, like, now you just upload something on YouTube or Spotify, or you get contract like CD Baby to do it for you or something like that, and boom, there you go. Are I don't know if I've asked. Are you on Spotify, Nori, at all, or?
Nope, nope. And now that they said that songs that don't get songs that get less than 1,000 plays a year get no money,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting to be until I can be sure that I can reach that with every single song that I release on there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Ads will run shortly. Nah, fuck that. Skip the ads.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I've never had to deal with I mean, I've been in bands in the past that we've used CD Baby to put up our stuff on streaming or whatever, but we've never really thought too hard about like the royalty rates or whatever. But if I were an artist on a major label, I definitely would think twice about letting my music run so willy nilly on streaming sites. I understand.
Yeah, that's the bad things about DistroKid.
Yeah. I, I'll admit I haven't looked in that scene so much, though I have seen like with Discogs.com. That site's sort of been gutted with how many bullshit variants are up for sale. I guess like overpriced stuff. Oh, I don't know. The enshittification of the internet continues apace, and it is hurting. It is hurting the music side, and I hate it. Seems my cup of water has run out. You mind if I go to get some real quick?
Go for it.
All right, I will be right back. Put a water up, and yo.
Hmm. Hmm. So, chat open tonight. Let's see. Oh, I bet you that a lot of people are doing better than me. Oh dear. Oh no.
Oh, and I'm back. Hello, y'all. Cool glass of water, cool drink of water. There's a sweet surprise. In the words of the water boy, that's a high quality H2O. It's kind of insane how hard it is to get a record pressed to vinyl now. Is it? I mean, I've admittedly not got that much experience in that. I remember Reject Gatorade, Water Supremacy. Hell yeah.
They love dihydrogen monoxide. I don't care if they say it's lethal.
Did you hear? They're giving out dihydrogen monoxide to the kids.
Yeah, and 100% of people who consume dihydrogen monoxide have died,
It's very spooky stuff.
or
Stay on
will
the
die.
lookout. Um, yeah, I don't know too much about, vinyl pressing and how all that goes on. All I know is that somehow King Gizzard does it themselves all the way out in fucking Australia, and also, one time I did this. What was it? It was like a sort of mailing service where it's literally like you go in and you do a live recording and it's pressed right to vinyl. I did that once, but I've never had I've never had any experience in manufacturing vinyl other than that.
Mm,
God,
mm.
it'd be wild someday though. Like, can you imagine like Nordy Ariel, like your debut album, like pressed to like some sort of pink vinyl variant? That'd be insane.
I want it now. I want
It's just, it's crazy. Like sometimes I get, wrapped up into the most recent, like, because like whenever King Gizzard puts out a new album, they of course like put out a million different like color variations on it for people to order or whatever. It's wild seeing
that.
that sort of thing, crop up in VTuber spaces too. Because I remember didn't Mori do something like that? Like Calliope Mori, didn't she do like when she put out albums in the past, she would do like variations and stuff like that?
I feel like I've seen that.
Yeah.
Um,
uh, I
and I do have the vinyl of Your Mind.
oh yeah, it's cool. I think it's gotten better, but I've heard more horror stories from the COVID days than I'd personally like to. That's interesting. I guess, with
Mm,
with how the pandemic impacted supply chains around the world, that doesn't necessarily surprise me to hear, but,
mm,
that is unfortunate. I've
mm.
I have been wanting to collect vinyl for some time though. I just don't have the disposable income for it, really. Nor a
Yep,
vinyl
I
player.
can't think of one.
But
Yeah. And if I do a vinyl, I'm only gonna have one version.
yeah,
I want to be
that's
pro-consumer all at once.
yeah, that's fair. I I don't know. I like the feeling of going around and like visiting like old or vintage record stores, or places where they sell a lot of used records. There used to be
Mm,
oh, hey, Penman Lupine. I don't think she put out too many variants, but there are a ton of separate editions. But Japan loves having a million editions of things. Oh, that is fucking
yeah,
true. Oh my god.
Pokemon Stockholm Syndrome.
When you think about how many Blu-rays they put out for for all sorts of shit. Oh my god.
Sunrise is guilty of it too. It's unfortunate, but there are a bunch of different versions containing
Yeah, no, I
and
remember like
individual copies of merch.
it's crazy how like you've got all these bands that put out the standard albums and the extended albums, then a few years later they put out a remix. It's like
Yeah.
Japanese capitalism go brrr, man. I I do love the feeling of going into like a record store though and seeing like all what they have on sale, just like browsing their wares casually. Like I used to have where I grew up, there was this great local record store, and I'd love like popping in there every now and then and seeing what they had. Like they had this massive used CDs location that I swear I got like half my CD collection from.
Oh, heck yeah.
Remember CDs? Like, oh my god, that was. I used to have like an ottoman full of CDs, like that I would pull from and like rip to iTunes back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah. Alas. And nowadays, like You know, it's all. You don't own anything. It's all in streaming. But I would love to just like
Well,
go
own
back
nothing and you
someday
will
and.
be happy.
God, are you ready for the new world order and all that? um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, I would love nothing more though to find like my old iPod because I think I had like an 160 gig iPod at one point. It was either that or like 64, whichever one was like the absurdly like spacious
Yeah, it
one
was the
for an
160.
MP3. Yeah, it was just like it felt like I felt like a god browsing through my library sometimes, and like back in the day when I was like learning how to play drums on my own and like playing through songs on an iPod.
Mhm.
Yeah, hoping you get plenty of money for physical music. And I hope so too someday. And I would love to have like a,
Yes.
you know, I kind of cope with my current background image. You know, it being there being like this vinyl player on a back desk and having crates of vinyl or whatever, but in reality it's what I've got, like maybe like a few Lego kits there and like a radiator. But eventually I would like to get a vinyl player.
Mhm.
Not a
I need
Crossley
to
though. I've heard
eventually as
nightmares
well.
about those.
Oh, what? Wellesley, is that a brand?
Yeah, Crossley vinyl players I've heard are like very bad on the quality of vinyl. So
Noted. I will not buy one.
yeah. I My mom, I think, has a vinyl player from way back when. I might have to inherit that off of her at some point, but whatever. It could be you soon. It could be you soon. Yeah, I hope. I would love to have like a physical media collection at some point.
Mhm.
Correct.
What?
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Do it.
Do it. Make your dreams come true. That is my whole. That's just me. That's a big part of my brand.
Oh
Making
yeah.
my dreams come true and to motivate others to make their own dreams come true.
Hell yeah. I appreciate how how optimistic and supportive of you are of that. I especially nowadays, like woof, a lot of negativity going on in the VTuber space. I tend to keep to
I've seen it
myself.
all.
Yeah. I tend to keep to myself, tend to keep away from that sort of stuff, but it always does hang over, things like a cloud. It sucks. Which is why I'm happy to, continue seeing people in the indie space do cool shit, putting out their own unique music and stuff. And even like some of the other like newer up and coming talent agencies or whatever out there, like V4 Mirai. I think what was it, the Flicker Cows guy did his own agency that's on the rise.
Agency.
Yeah.
I think Project Versus will be extremely promising.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh yeah, and Globy too. There's a lot of cool people in Globy.
Globy's brilliant.
You collabed with a few of those guys, didn't you?
Yep. And I'm going to be collabing soon with Alicia Valentino from the newest gen.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go. Making names, kissing hands, shaking babies, all that stuff. Good. I've been trying to get my name out there and networking a bit more recently too. I mean,
Do it.
I'm trying. It's It's my social anxiety and my willingness not to be on Discord for longer than I have to.
Mhm.
You know, it was the megaphones. Oh my gosh. Uh,
Mhm.
as have you been keeping up with Hololive more than I have, perchance? I don't know. I haven't really been tuned into them since, I want to say, I mean, optimistically, Indonesia Gen 2, but like, even then, I.
Mm, Mostly just Marissa and whoever she collabs with.
Mm, she's got a really good voice, though, hasn't she?
Yes, she's so up my alley. That's why she's my issue.
Mm,
Like, she has love for 80s music. She's trained
mm.
in opera.
Oh, hell yeah.
So she has a
love
voice voice.
love VTubers that cracked vocally. Like fucking Iron Mouse, God bless her. Like
Mm,
disabled,
Iron Mouse.
confined to her bed most of the time, and still's got pipes like a fucking mezzo soprano.
Love it.
Hell yeah. Welcome back, Daniel, by the way. Welcome back.
Mm.
Yeah, God. I feel yeah, I feel disjointed sometimes because I feel like I should be more tuned in the VTuber space than I am, but really I'm just on the side on Twitter liking people's posts. I see people announcing musical projects, and I'm all very much supportive of that, but I never,
Mm.
I rarely actually tune in to listen. It's unfortunate.
Mm. Mm.
I'm sorry, I feel like I've been dominating a lot of the conversation. Is there anything you'd like to bring up?
Well, there's the thing that I forgot and recalled.
Yeah.
The whole thing with guitar tones.
Oh, yeah.
So, it took me a lot of experimentation to get what I've got right now, and
Oh, yeah.
there's definitely bound to be more as I do even more experimentation. But there's like I I feel like something would be amiss if I didn't bring up the secret sauce. I do what Eddie Van Halen does.
Oh.
I throw a phaser on it that doesn't do a whole lot of phasing, but what it does do is change the tone for
Oh,
the
hell
better.
yeah. I love
On
that.
top of whatever I do with threaded.
Oh yeah, I love that early Van Halen guitar tone. It's unparalleled, honestly. Like you go back and
Mm.
listen to those early Van Halen albums, pristine. Oh my god. And like Ted Templeman's production on that too, like using the echo rooms of Sunset Sound properly to capture the full like force and impact of Van Halen's performance. It's crazy how well they did for only recording that in a few weeks.
I am in search of perfection like that.
Yeah. Different types of guitar tones with different types of rock and metal music. Oh yeah. No. It's Ooh. I have a good in one of my bands that I'm in, IRL. Our guitarist is like, he's got this wild fucking pedal board, like, and like even has this effect where like he calls it like the bass drop or whatever, where like when he's got like a loud chord ringing, he just leans down and like turns a dial and just like woo, like it's like Skrillex doing a drop or some shit. I love fancy effects like that. Are you familiar at all with Adrian Belew?
Nope.
Adrian Belew, he's like a very he's not like obscure or anything, but like he played for Frank Zappa back in the late 70s, David Bowie, Talking Heads. Then he was in like the 80s incarnation of King Crimson for a time. And he's known for having like these wild fucking tones that he got from like fiddling with his amp, fiddling with his knobs. I remember like ages ago, I listened to this live version he played of David Bowie's Station to Station back when he was touring with Bowie in '78, and that forever shifted my notions of like what guitar could do, what a guitar solo could be, really. I love like very like heavy atmospheric guitar, the sort where it's a lot of feedback, a lot of noise and layering and stuff. It's that's a fucking stellar sound right there.
Sounds like while the sound is definitely different from what I'm about to bring up,
Oh yeah.
it's probably that kind of moment of revelation that I got when I heard the solo of "Bulls on Parade" by Rage Against the Machine in Guitar Hero 3.
Oh yeah. No, Tom Morello too. He's a fucking insane guitarist. Like I love hearing the shit that he got up to back in the day with with his amps, with his pedals and knobs and all that. Like
Yeah.
scratch that shit like a turntable. Did you say bass drops? Really loves bass drops in metal music? Oh yeah, like breakdowns too. There's something to be said for like a very good like hardcore or metal breakdown. Oh my god. There's this one song in one of my bands that we play where it's just like, it's kind of fast, it goes at tempo, then all of a sudden it just drops out and like a head banging is what. And I wish that we were at the sort of level where we could get a proper circle pick going there, because it would kill in that section. I'm just alas. born to play metal festivals, cursed to playing clubs.
Yeah.
Man.
I don't want to end anywhere. I don't want to be.
Yeah. Very much so. Are you like do you have much of a local music scene wherever you are, or are you just sort of suburban life, not really close to those gig centers?
I know it certainly exists. I'm just not aware of it. I've only ever seen local classical here and there infrequently.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was my background before I went into Vtubing. That was what I was training for.
Oh,
I wanted to be a classically trained mezzo-soprano.
Ooh.
But Vtubing had other plans, and it took my other love, metal, and brought it outward in ways that I never thought possible because I never had the tools.
There you go. In a sense, I understand.
With me because I'm a fan of Nightwish.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nightwish. I've heard a lot about them, and they've. I think I've heard a few of their songs. It's interesting, the sort of, I guess, operatically trained vocals against metal. I don't know if I connect with it as strongly as traditional metal vocals, but it's definitely a very cool sound.
Yeah, it's one that I've been in search of, even though I also still do more contemporary clean vocals with my original works mostly. It's something that I want.
Yeah. It really does make sense that you identify so strongly with Judas Priest, because Rob Halford's technique, he's one of the closer to I guess matching that sort of training that you need for classical singing, right? Like him, Bruce Dickinson, like having that sort of control over your vocal register to be as commanding and powerful as they are, but also just like, yeah. Pretty cool that people had to poke holes in their amps with pencils to get distortion in the 50s. Oh yeah, like the whole story of how what was it? I forget. It was or Dave Davies that got the guitar tone for "You Really Got Me." Do you know that? Yeah. That was where they took, you know, the razor blades to their amps and created distortion early, all without pedals.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, got ads coming up. Let's skip those again. I swear to God, I'm not used to this.
You don't have manually managed?
Huh?
You don't manually manage your ads?
I mean, there's a notification that's popping. It's interesting. Like, there's a new sort of streaming layout nowadays. At least compared to the last time I did this, like, seems to be a lot more deliberate with how they allow you to insert ads, delay ads, that sort of thing.
Delay ads isn't even a thing for me because of the way I have my thing set up. Just turn on manually manage ads or whatever it is in the monetization settings.
Ah, that's unfortunate. Ooh, I didn't know they apparently they've added a create highlight video option to the streaming deck, so that's that's something I might fiddle with at some point.
I just use StreamYard because I'm a boomer. That's why I was using streaming goes.
Yeah, that's valid too. Sorry, let me turn on my lights real quick, because the sun is going down. Have you got anything else coming up, music-wise, that you're excited for?
My massive backlog.
I mean, that is also valid.
First. Oh, and I still have to drop my BBL Disney first.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that whole thing. I don't even know like how he's adjudicating it as a contest, right? He just sort of made that tweet and like added like $10,000 to it later on, like, and then yeah, like I feel like everybody and their mother like has put up a fucking remix on Twitter, and I don't know how. I would hate to be the poor Metro Boomin intern who has to go through all of Twitter and collect all of those remixes.
Yeah.
But just, man, fucking crazy. Fucking crazy that Drake has just got taken down that brutally. We were talking about baritone electric guitars before I was experimenting with this Barry. See, I'm not so familiar with baritone electric guitars. I remember, I think I had there was a friend I remember in college who had one, but that's like the only.
We have 8 strings.
Oh yeah. Yeah, other than that one friend, I'm not familiar with like baritone electric guitars. Tell you what though,
I didn't get it because you have your 8 strings that go lower, and the lower you stop is really just bass.
See, in terms of unique guitars, I always like looking at a 5-string bass. You know, I've seen a few of those in my time playing in local bands and stuff.
I use one in my I use one in FL Studios Flex. There's a 5-string bass guitar that's really strong sounding.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. 5 strings is better than 4 for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, that would be fun, trying to learn how to take up the bass. Have you ever recorded a live musician for your music, or are you exclusively working in the studio on your own with samples?
I don't know any instrument players in real, or rather, I have not worked with an instrument player in real life, but my friend Jan Albach did play viola on my cover of Athena's Aria by Athena Nightingale.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no,
I did a really special birthday present for her.
Mm-hmm. And you drop so much music all the time, and I commend it. I wish I could keep up.
Nothing there.
Oshi. It's just sorry, I'm just looking through your videos here, all your covers. Yeah, anybody, any of my viewers, definitely go check Nori out if you're into like J-pop, idol music and stuff. She's got some stellar arrangements on her channel. Glad you can sit in tonight. Always nice to meet a new VTuber. Glad it's a male. Well, I am your catboy VTuber. I'm glad to glad to be here. How to say? Damn, I'm sorry for blanking on topics so hard here. This is my damn stream. Are you gonna peep the Nintendo Direct tomorrow? Oh, yeah, that's would love to see the Nintendo Direct.
Oh, wait, I'll just check Twitter after.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true.
If they don't have F-Zero GX for Nintendo Switch, I do not give a flying duck about it.
See, for me, it'll be Metroid. I'm hoping that we'll get some sort of Metroid news, whether it's like a remastered 2 or 3 or even fucking 4, like God willing. God. Hey, that's another thing. Like video game soundtracks. Are you obsessed with any of those at any point? Because like, oh my god. I got into video game soundtrack conversation with Air last time, and I was expounding my love for Grant Kirkhope and David Wise and those Rareware guys very early on.
Oh yeah, they're geniuses. And it's basically Tim Fallen, Castlevania, and Mega Man X for me.
Oh yeah. Those are some very good soundtracks too. Admittedly, I'm not as familiar with the Castlevania and Mega Man games, but the fucking Mega Man X soundtrack is peak.
Yes. That's good. Even gets better in X2 and X3.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about that Super Nintendo sound.
Yeah.
That shot with the specific samples Capcom used.
Yeah. I mean, what for one song they literally just like rearranged like Mr. Brownstone by Guns N' Roses. Or one of the songs is like rearranged from like a Guns N' Roses song, right? Or
yeah, X3 is very Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, and especially because like some of those Mavericks are named after the bandmates, right? Like I think one of them is like. Fuck. I'm not the X3 guy. I shouldn't be. Yeah, but I do remember they localized it as like
the whole band.
Man, Guns N' Roses are a crazy ass fucking band. I can't wait to dig into them in depth in this glam metal series I've got planned.
Yeah, it's a shame that that the lead singer didn't take very good care of his voice, especially since I heard one of his live performances from recently.
Yeah.
He fell the heck off.
I mean,
This is
there's a lot you could say about Axl Rose and what he should and shouldn't have done over the years.
yeah.
Put it like that. Like, oh my gosh. I'm just amazed that it ended up in a reunion tour. That are Guns N' Roses still reunited with the original lineup? Let me look that up.
Oh yeah, is that
Because they had that big reunion tour, whatever, like a few years back when Axl was singing in AC/DC at the same time somehow. But yeah,
wow.
looks like they're still kind of reunited, I guess.
Mhm.
uh,
Speaking of AC/DC, my Rob Halford style voice that I use in some of my music is
yeah.
well, it all started with me trying to sound like the guy from AC/DC.
Brian Johnson. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god. AC/DC was actually like one of my like introductory bands to hard rock or metal music. Well, like other than like the Guitar Hero or Rock Band games, like AC/DC was right down there as like the first rock band I was really super into. And that was partly because there used to be, I don't know if it's still up on YouTube or whatever, but there was this Sonic X AMV where it was like Knuckles fighting like a Metarex person or whatever, set to TNT. And that shit was peak. Like 12-year-old Rezi was eating good.
I did a short cover of TNT. It's in my shorts.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's awesome. You guys gotta practice, get some metal screams. Yeah, I can't do a metal scream to save my fucking life.
I gotta learn how to do it. I gotta learn how to do it in. I have to learn how to do a metal scream that is not Brian Johnson or Rob Halford.
Yeah, that's more of a shriek.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing.
Yeah. Banshee wail. Oh my god.
If that's what you. I don't know the names of things. I just do them.
Yeah, no, nice. Nor do I. I like
that counter melody. I like that polyrhythm. Like, what? What are you talking about? Oh, the names. Yeah,
if I'm being honest, I always sort of prefer clean vocals to anything guttural or too, like, harsh any day, but, you know, guttural and scream vocals can be done well if you just sprinkle it in there.
Yeah, I like to mix it up in a song. Like,
yeah.
Kinds of vocals, just as long as it's balanced well and it conveys what the singer wants to convey.
Exactly. Like, I don't know how familiar you are with like Opeth's music at all, but like,
not at all.
Oh, but the run of albums they had from like Blackwater Park through what was the one with Ghost of Perdition? Ghost Reveries. That's the album. Like all the albums from like Blackwater Park through Ghost Reveries have some stellar fucking like prog metal music with clean and dirty vocals. It's incredible stuff. God. I really should get into more prog metal, but you know, a lot of it people have incorporated either just like absurd amounts of like keyboard solos and guitar solos and all this shredding technical stuff, or I just wish like artists would like focus down and like serve the song better, you know. So in terms of Japanese rock, how familiar are you with Bow Wow?
Not at all.
Oh, allow me to introduce you a very interesting band. If you like Van Halen, if you like Judas Priest, I think you're gonna like Bow Wow. They were formed.
Oh,
Looking at them back in back at their Wikipedia page here, they were formed in '75, and their lead guitar guy Kyoji Yamamoto, he's fucking insane. Like he's basically he's basically the Japanese Van Halen equivalent in that like Bow Wow, they basically revolutionized Japanese metal. Should listen to Voivod for prog metal. Oh, I've heard good things about Voivod. Like fucking Jason Newsted plays for them, doesn't he? Or he played for them. If the singer provides a strong presence in its vocals, I'm in heaven. Hey, that's I hear that right there.
Absolutely.
Along those lines too, like, Bow Wow's just a fucking incredible band. I've been on a bit of a kick for them recently because I've got like a bit of a bouncing act going on. Like I need to talk a bit about like Japanese metal, obviously, in the glam metal video, because there were a bunch of Japanese metal bands that crossed over here in the 80s in that sort of glam metal aesthetic. And Bow Wow was sort of the start of that, a little bit. I don't know if they were as glam, as flashy, as much with the big hair or whatever, but like they certainly were the start of that trend. Let's see. Let's see. What else? I'm sorry to say again, Nori. Do you have anything else that you're thinking of? Because I'm at the point in the stream where I'm blanking out.
It's okay. Like one of the few like actual J-rock bands that I listen to at all these days is Maten no Opera.
Who? Hold on, could you say that name again?
Hold on, I'll drop it in the Discord chat for you.
Oh yeah, okay. No problem. I just have like a Subway receipt of like all the bands that people recommend me in these streams that I keep writing things down on.
And the album that drew me to them most was Avalon, because I could hear some Blind Guardian influence in them.
Ooh. Yeah, Blind Guardian, that's a band that
And symphonic elements.
I've been wanting to get into. I had St. Durandal on the stream a few weeks ago, and he was hyping them up pretty well to me. I had to sit down at some point. Oh yeah, you listen to a lot of power metal, is that right?
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, so Maten no Opera's Avalon album, it's a departure from a lot of their other stuff, but I liked the power and symphonic that they leaned into.
Yeah. I will admit, I'm not as big up on power metal as, other metalheads. I know Dragon Force. I know my share of Dragon Force. Obviously I was raised on Guitar Hero, so all the fucking custom songs that were put into Guitar Hero are stick with me. But other than that, I haven't really bothered giving power metal much of a shot. That said,
Uh,
there's a German power metal band, Halloween. I don't know how familiar you are with them, but
I've heard of them.
there are some fantastic songs of theirs that they put out back in like the late 80s. I remember discovering them when I was doing research for like not for the Fall of Kiss series, but I remember like I did a side documentary for my Patreon on like Ace Frehley and Peter Criss and what they got up to in the 80s and 90s. And at one point, Ace Frehley was hosting an episode of Headbangers Ball with like one of his bandmates, and they had on Halloween as guests, and it was really cool to hear like like I don't know. From there, I sort of listened to like the track that was featured in that episode, and I was like, oh, that's pretty fun stuff. I don't know. I feel like there's so many different variations on power metal out there too, right? Like so many different regional takes on it between what the the Germans have contributed and the Scandinavians have contributed, and like over in Japan, obviously too, is something different. And then there's all that stuff about black metal too that Daniel's mentioning with Dimmu Borgir and Immortal. I don't know
listen
that.
to black metal.
Yeah, nor do I.
Not
that
out of
much.
a lack of interest. Again, I don't have time for this stuff.
Yeah. Now, I do think it's interesting, like the story behind like the early black metal scene, like in Euronymous and all that stuff. I remember watching like a really cool YouTube video about that, but otherwise I haven't really, I haven't really delved too much into black metal at all. I prefer my metal lightly roasted, thank you.
Light roast has more caffeine.
I don't even drink coffee. I'm more of a tea guy, if anything. But even then, I don't really drink caffeine in the morning. I just sort of raw dog life. Well,
I live on caffeine and ADHD meds.
I say I raw dog life sitting on top my piles and piles of catnip every month, but that's neither here nor there. There's the band Pegasus and Numenor. I'll have to write those down. Someday I will go through all these suggestions that people have recommended to me, and and I assure you that this list will get listened to. I'm not just writing this down for my own benefit. Well, I am writing it for my own benefit, but I
still have to go back to listen through a lot of stuff that's been posted in my public Discord.
Oh yeah. Jeez, that's another thing too.
Yeah, music going on, and I haven't been able to.
Yeah, I had to pop in and say hi to you guys sometime. I feel like I have a Discord, and I'm using it for these collabs, and for getting on certain channels to get certain games or whatever. Like recently been obsessed with Pokerogue, so I joined that Discord to get tips and tricks for that.
Yeah, I only have microplastics, so I'm near 100 servers, so it's frustrating. I can't.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
I haven't even approached that server limit. See, I wish Discord and other like streaming platforms were more useful for like music projects. I wish you could feasibly like jam or play music over the net, but
Yeah, Don't they
That
have software for that though? I see Japanese VTubers singing together with it.
oh, I'm sure they can, but like I don't know if there's like there's a lot of issues to do with latency, and I mean not just like you know, being apart like hundreds of thousand miles, not like that's one thing, but like you if you're reducing, even if you reduce lag, you're not getting that sort of instantaneous feel for one another's musicianship in the same space, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can definitely understand that. It's
Yeah.
weird.
I think I was watching actually, like Adam Neely did a video on, or it wasn't a full video. He did like a Q&A, and like that was like one of the questions he was answering, like if it was possible to like jam over like over Discord or Skype or like a
Nope,
call
not
program.
Discord or Skype.
Well, definitely
They have
not those
specialized
programs.
software for
Yeah.
it. I think Yamaha makes something specifically for it.
Hmm. Yeah, you know, I
All I know is that Japanese V singers and instrument playing VTubers have used it together.
right,
I
right.
just remember the name of the software they use.
Yeah, that would be fun at some point if somebody were able to crack the code on that and get like if it were possible to have like fully virtual bands going, that would be incredible. You know, I've angled for a while. I've wanted to form my own sort of VTuber band with, you know, a bunch of VTuber musicians, but I have no idea how I would go about fucking doing that in the first place. Ugh. Like we've already got Regloss holding it down well enough in the agency
Yeah,
sort of
they're
things.
all in Japan. They can just meet at Cover HQ.
Yeah. And perhaps that's the only way a virtual VTuber band can work.
Well, you can't do it live. If you can't do it live, you can still put out music together,
Yeah, that's true.
and then you all go out at some point.
Yeah, yeah. God. I have so many different ideas I want to do for like if I eventually got like the cosplay or whatever to do like IRL sort of streams or videos or whatever. That'd be so much fun, but I don't know, like logistically speaking, the extent of
You saw I
how.
did it all, Kyrie.
Huh? Yeah, no, I saw what you did. That was neat.
Thank you.
Did you really wear that N95 and sunglasses for the entire time, though? That
Yep, I wanted to go to deerskin rant.
man. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess she did. Ah. Yeah. See, if I were
To keep my
planning.
mouth on speeds, but
Huh?
other
Yeah.
than that, I kept it on at all times, and I still got it.
That is valid. I don't know. I was thinking if I were to ever do that, I would order like one of those like filtered masks or whatever, but like custom colored to orange. I think that would be a very neat little touch on the things. But
Nice.
Oh, gosh. What time is it for you guys? It's 8:40 for me too. I mean, I think we're all on the East Coast here. East Coast, Beast Coast.
Yeah, I'm a beast.
Yeah. Gosh, though, well, let me see. Well, I don't know what your plans are for the rest of the night, Nori, but if if you're good to leave things off here, I think I am as well.
I'm gonna be partying with my friend Avarice and Garnet in less than an hour. It's her birthday.
Oh, very cool, very cool. Where will
But,
that be?
I'm still going to chat for a bit more if you'd like. Oh, I was gonna be on her channel, but I'm also gonna be streaming my point of view so that I can funnel more people into her community because I want to see her grow. She deserves it.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Let me try and do you have a waiting room up for that yet?
No, because I wasn't clear on what we were gonna be doing and how long I would be able to keep streaming because there are gaps in my participation and all that.
That's fine. No problem. We can raid instead. I saw Kendra was live, so we can try surprising her there.
Yeah. Also, public service announcements. Everyone here, listen to more Sound Horizon, please. One of my missions as a VTuber to get more people to listen to Sound Horizon.
Hell yeah. I will try to do that on my own time myself. And y'all in chat, I mean, I don't know how many I'm talking to from my own channel as opposed to Nori's, but anybody from my own channel who's tuning in, please do subscribe to Nori. She's a dear friend of mine, very hard worker, very good producer, great singer. So if you're into metal music, if you're into J-pop, idol music, you're into even visual K's to some extent, I think you'll like Nori's channel.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. And let me set up this redirect here.
Again, thank you so much, Resi, for having me. This is fun. I'd love to do it again sometime if we have more musical things to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm glad to have you. I'm glad that you've glad that we've been such close friends for these past few years, and I'm happy for your continued support always, Nori.
Oh yes. Naughty Band, subscribe to this cats. We can talk about anything rock music related for 3 hours straight and you won't get bored, I promise you.
Thank you so much. Well, thank y'all all so much for tuning in. Y'all regulars from my channel, I do apologize for truncating things a bit this time, but you know, hopefully next time should be a bit more productive. I'm thinking maybe of having the next stream's guests. I'm thinking will come in multiples, so we'll have to see what happens there. But I don't know. Well, I'll have to plan it out, but otherwise, thank y'all for tuning in, and I will see y'all. Wait, hold on. I'm just checking to see if I saved. Yep, the redirect is saved. All right. Yes. Thank you all for tuning in once again. I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.